Did anything happen while we were gone?
Hi, we're back. Jordan and Josh returning from a short podcast hiatus. MrBeast drama, Trump assassination attempt, Joe Biden. Dogpack 404 hasn't put out a MrBeast update.
Yeah, what's going on? I think I think someone offed him.
I don't know. I was kind of snooping around on Twitter a little bit, and somebody was like, dude, what the heck? Why? They didn't say heck. Why didn't you put out a third video? And he was like, oh, some people got cold feet, and so I had to re-edit the video, and then like it wasn't, they said it wasn't for, they were going to restrict the audience too, so we had to re-edit it, and I was like, is he making excuses?
I don't know. It was too good to be true.
Yeah,
okay?
so we'll see
this
what
kid
happens.
had to be stopped.
Yeah, but also at the same time, like the second video of the guy who, didn't he just come off a little off to you?
Yeah. He kind of did. It seemed a little, I don't know, if the guy had genuine like mental issues going on,
right?
I feel for the guy, and it sounded like, because I mean, he said his dad was in jail for like the bad stuff.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
You're right. So
that.
like,
You're right.
It's hard to make fun of a guy.
No, I don't want to make fun of him, but like he seemed like he was acting. No, I'm not saying that he would.
But he might have been. Maybe this. You know what I mean? Like his life might be an act.
That's what I'm saying. There was just something about him. It was weird watching him because obviously you want to believe. You want to dog on the guy who is like the biggest of all time, right? You just naturally want to do that. But there was something about watching him, it was weird. I couldn't get a read on him. It was like, well, he's a comedian, so like he's an actor.
He's a performer. Yeah.
But this is the one time you don't need to perform. Yeah. And I don't think he could get himself out of that. Yeah. So it was this weird read on what was going on.
I had the same vibe from him too. Yeah. And I think, but part of it too is I think he was actually trying to share stuff, and it's hard to do that. Mm-hmm. Share vulnerable stuff. And so if you are some sort of like comedian type, then you just want to start telling jokes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it came off a little disingenuous. Yeah. I would agree with that.
And I heard some other people say the same thing, but literally the exact same sentiment was that, but there's something about it that seemed genuine in this kind of sad way.
Yeah.
Well, it seemed like he was acting in some way. It was just, the whole thing was very weird.
Yeah. We didn't even say, if you didn't know who Dogpack whatever was, then people don't even know that we were just talking about MrBeast. That whole segment was
sorry.
Anyways, that was the MrBeast segment of the show. I'm sure we'll talk more about that at some point.
I didn't even look at the script. Did I jump ahead?
No, I don't even think I have anything about MrBeast.
Oh, well, we just talked about it.
But we could talk. Yeah, we can talk a little bit.
So do you think that he's going to put out any more videos? Dogpack 404, because MrBeast deleting comments. He's like saying he has a 100%, 99.9% like ratio, which makes no sense.
It seems like it got quiet, doesn't it? I think the strategy is just to keep quiet and hope it goes away. But it seems like people have kind of just gotten bored of talking about it. Unless I'm missing something. Like, I don't see videos in my feed about it as much as I did. For a while, it was like every video was like, here's a 55-minute breakdown of everything that has happened thus far.
Yeah. It was interesting because I think we talked about this before, but it was whatever about the MrBeast situation, but it was interesting to see that smaller YouTubers who aren't in like with the cool crowd, like the Ryan Trahans and the MrBeast and like the
yes.
Yeah, all these people who collab together and they don't really want to say anything bad, or they might sweep things under the rug because, hey, they've given me 1 million subscribers and I'm in the MrBeast video that has 100 million views.
Right.
It was cool to see the smaller YouTubers, like the Leafy is here type of people who they're just in their room. They don't give a crap what is going on. They just want to talk and tell the truth. It was cool to see those YouTubers kind of like get a huge boost in views. And that's what I think of as YouTube. Like MrBeast is not YouTube. He is like
it's corporate. And all the other YouTubers that are in MrBeast videos feel like that too.
Which is weird because MrBeast just wants to make the best YouTube videos, is what he always says, but it's like it doesn't even feel like YouTube videos. Like it literally feels like you're watching like something on TV.
Yeah. Right.
It's odd.
But
if MrBeast was truly the best YouTuber, I would want to see him do a variety of different things. Like like a personal, some kind of personal video where you can watch him and you can actually feel and connect to him.
Yeah. I don't know if we're going to get that.
Then he would be a YouTuber.
Yeah. I agree with you that it was interesting watching there for a minute where it felt like the small creators were getting the spotlight versus big corporate YouTube.
Yeah, it was cool.
It felt like old school YouTube there for a minute. And I hope it
really
continues.
did.
But yeah, it seems like it's gotten quiet.
Well, Dogpack needs to put out a new video.
Yeah, maybe that really is what it is. Like they got to the people that were going to talk to Dogpack.
Yeah, I'm wondering because that's what he kind of alluded to is that they got cold feet, the people who they had interviewed. And so I think maybe that was the whole video and he was like, "Oh shoot, what do I do?" That was the whole video. That was like the last guy talking, that comedian dude in the second video. Oh, he got cold feet? Well, that was my whole video.
Yeah.
That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah. It was going to be another interview with somebody.
Yeah. And they said, no, don't do it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens with that. But we said that something was going to bring down MrBeast. This was not what I was anticipating, but they build you up and they love to tear you right back down. You just, you want to make sure you're a good dude so this stuff doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It seems like maybe that's not the case.
No, maybe not. But, there is a conspiracy that MrBeast is actually the mark of the beast. The Antichrist.
Oh, the MrBeast.
Look into it, Josh.
Okay. Wow.
He's a guy who does miracles. I healed 3,000 blind people. He's
an attractive guy.
He's an attractive man. So,
and he has a worldwide audience.
He does, Josh. The biggest audience of all time. He's in every country.
If he uploads a video that says, "I made 20 million people disappear,"
I gave 20 million people Apple Vision Pro.
I brought the Israelites to the Valley of Megiddo. And this is what happened.
My name is Nikolai whatever.
Nikolai Carpathia. All right. Well, we'll wait out and see if what's his name in real life? Jimmy. I was gonna say like Jeffrey to make a joke, but then I accidentally said his right name, so the joke didn't work.
It didn't land.
Jimmy.
We'll see if he's the beast.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Blimey Cow podcast. Every Friday we make the world a little less messy. My name is Josh.
And I'm Jordan. If you want a free Blimey Cow t-shirt, then head over to supportblimeycow.com. When you join, you get a free Blimey Cow shirt as our way of saying a huge whopping fat thank you for joining the Cow-munity. I'm reading this exactly as Josh wrote it. The Cow-munity. Wanted to make sure I said that right, I guess. You also get exclusive videos, like a bonus segment of the podcast and bonus messages. Head over to supportblimeycow.com today to join the best community on the entire internet ever and get a free shirt while you're at it.
Do you want to do all the names?
Sure. Thanks to Mason Edmondson, Catherine Carter, Bex Bamber, Olivia Yates. I'm going to name my next child Bex Bamber. I love the name Bex.
Bex Bamber.
Bex Bamber Taylor. Olivia Yates. Sarah Rose, Isaac Ham, Faith Johnson, Joshua Fritz, Eliana Witten, Melissa Hofen, Jewel Hooker, Olivia Jacks, Charlie Butler, Kylie Seal, Hannah Stott, Aubrey Church, Caitlin Brush, Marcella Litchley, Jeffy Sarto, Andrew Blank, Hannah Blank, siblings, Josh.
Or perhaps married. I think they're married.
They're probably married. Tal Fotheringham, Michelle W.
Those are all the people that have joined since our last episode.
Good grief.
Yeah, 2 months ago.
And hopefully every single one of them is coming to BlimeyCon.
Some of them are.
Oh, good.
Don't forget to check out...
I hope Bex Baxter is.
No, she's not. I don't think so.
What's her name?
Bex Bamber. Don't forget to check out the Clips channel. Everything you love about the podcast without the time commitment. Yes, this podcast is back and the Clips channel is back too. So new clips uploaded almost every day. YouTube.com/@BlimeyCowClips. All right, well, we spent a long time talking about MrBeast, and we did all the announcement stuff. I guess we could also mention top stories. You have a child.
I do. So we haven't filmed one of these in 2 months because Owen is Is he 7 weeks now, or is he 2 months?
We
old now?
stopped a couple of weeks before he was born too, as well. So.
Oh wow. Okay, I think he's 7 weeks old now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's not 2 months old yet. But yeah, it's great. Everyone's like, "Wow, you have a new baby," and they just look at me like I'm supposed to say this like philosophical thing, like.
So how's it going?
And I'm like, it's changed my life. It's and I'm supposed to go on this, and I don't know what to say. I mean, it's this amazing thing. I don't have this prepared speech, but you know, there's something that happens when your baby's crying and you carry him outside and he's just looking up at the leaves and you're like, God dang.
This is what it's all about.
This is what I should have been doing from the start. Just walking around.
What was I doing?
I haven't looked at the stars in who knows how long because you're like doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You're like looking at your phone.
Yep.
And he's just the thing that keeps him calm, just looking up at the leaves, looking up at the sun, closing his eyes, sneezing because he has the sneeze reflex with the sun like we have, Josh. You have that.
I thought that everybody had that.
No.
All my kids have it.
Yeah, it's a genetic thing.
Oh, okay.
No, Sarah doesn't have it. None of her siblings have that. Because when I told her that I had that, I no. One time what happened was she said, "Oh, I have to sneeze." I said, "Look at the sun," because I thought everybody had that. And she was like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Look at the sun. You know, you sneeze." And she was like, "What are you talking about, Jordan?" And that's when I was like, "Oh, this is a Google search."
Allegedly,
Sneeze, sun.
some people don't sneeze when they go out in the sun.
Well, it's not even just the sun; it's also temperature changes. Okay. So if you're in the summertime, if you're in a really cold grocery store, you come out and it's really hot, yes. You'll sneeze. It's not just triggered by the sun. Yeah, so I don't know. Nobody knows why. That they've looked into this. Nobody can figure it out.
Okay.
It's just I think that they think that there's some connection to the brain in some weird place with something else that's not with everybody. And so for some reason that visual triggers that.
That's so weird.
It doesn't really make sense. But he definitely has that because literally every time he goes outside he sneezes. It's hilarious. But yeah, Sarah had a C-section, and that was a very weird experience. Just being in that room.
You watched him come out?
I did.
Isn't that crazy?
And they let me film too. So I filmed. And it was, Josh, the things that they did, it was disturbing.
Isn't that crazy?
It is. It's not just like, oh, here he is. It's like they're like really pulling.
They're pulling innards back. They're like, hey,
yeah.
Let's get that.
It was pretty insane.
There's no perfect way to pull a child out of a woman.
That's what I realized.
It's an imperfect
there's
process.
No plan. There's a plan, and then it's like, oh, this is how he's positioned. Yank here, pull here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was crazy. But yeah, at home, we found out that he had tongue tie. The first doctor we went to, literally, he's 3 days old. He was like, oh no, he's the picture perfect of mouth. And we were like, really? Because he's like kind of struggling. No, it looks great. Everything's great. It seemed like he barely looked in his mouth. And so then we were like, okay. So it was confusing. Still had issues for like a month. Well, we immediately tried to get another appointment with somebody else, but that took like 3 weeks or something to get in. Weirdly, we weren't even supposed to get in. Like the lady was literally like, I actually believe that God made you come here because it's so hard to get an appointment with me because I'm so booked out that Sarah actually made an appointment. She saw the appointment and saw how much money it was, basically. She was like, oh, Jordan, do you think we should do this? Because that guy said that that he doesn't have a tongue tie. And I didn't say no, but I was just like, oh, okay, we'll just do whatever you think. Like, we'll just, my thing that I was saying was, yes, do this, but I didn't say, yeah, go ahead. So I guess Sarah took that as, oh, I won't do it then, for some reason. So she didn't make the appointment. And the appointment was going to be for like 2 months from then. Or 3 months. It was like a long way away. So she didn't make it. So then I asked her like a week later, I said, oh, so when's the appointment? And she was like, what are you talking about? I didn't make the appointment. And I was like, what? What do you mean? And she was like, I didn't make it. And I was like, okay, well, let's go back and make the appointment.
Can we go back?
Can we go back?
Can we go back?
And so she got on, and there was like an appointment open, like the next week.
That's funny.
And she was like, "Oh, there's an appointment for like next week," and I was like, "Just book it, now. I don't care how much it is. I'll do anything. Just make it go back." And so she made the appointment, and we show up, and the lady's confused. She's like, "What is
this?
She's like, "Who are you?
What's going on?"
Yeah, and she was like, "How did you make an appointment?" When we walked in, she's like, "How'd you make an appointment?" And we're like, told that story, and she was like, oh, "I logged on, and like there was an appointment for next week, and so I just signed up." And she was like, "That wasn't supposed to happen. That never happens."
Wow.
And she was like, and then she looked at Owen's mouth, and she was like, "Yeah, he's got problems. You needed to come in." And she was like, this has never happened before. She was like, "I think that you actually had like this happen for a reason."
Wow.
So she's been really working with them and stuff. So that's been great. But had we not had that mess up, it would have been 3-4 months out to get this appointment. And because there was
starving.
Yeah. So because we had this thing, we got there the next week.
Good.
So that was great.
Good.
So we go there. It helps him. He has his little exercises he does. He had the little procedure to have the tongue ties clipped.
He's eating better and he's doing okay.
Yeah, so he's gaining weight very rapidly, almost a concerning extent. Child is getting like a pound every half week or every week.
Make him a chunker.
Yeah, so he's doing great.
What's been the most surprising thing about being a dad?
The most surprising thing.
Something that really surprised you.
Well, I think when he first came out, it was like I didn't know what that experience was going to be like, but it was weird because it was such a weird setting. You know, there's all these lights, there's all these people in the back talking about their day, like they do this all the time. Yeah. You know, it's always going to be men in the back who are like just talking about, "Hey, so how'd work go today?" And like you're like, "Dude, what?" Shut up! I'm trying it, but the guy was like super nice. He was like the first one. "Hey, you guys, you want to take a picture or something like that?" So you know, it's just business as usual for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was weird. Like it was just a different experience than I thought. I don't know. That's probably not answering your question, but I think with just the shock of everything and then like trying to figure everything out for the first 2 days, it almost felt like, whose child is this? Like it just felt like you just had this being put into your arms, and I thought it would be this immediate like, this is my child. I like immediately know them, but it was like I had to like learn to like we were like learning about each other and like understanding each other, and then it was like, oh yeah, like this. Yeah. Then this just feels like this is just what it is, but. It was interesting that first little bit, and I'm not saying that you don't. It was just a different experience than I thought it was going to be.
I know what you mean.
It was interesting.
Well, especially because the baby mostly needs mom at the beginning.
Yeah,
anyway,
exactly.
You know, so
right. So you're just kind of there trying to like, okay, we're just making in it, and also then you're in the hospital,
right?
And you're like basically trying to ward off any craziness. Yeah. Any craziness going on. So I'm stressed out trying to like make sure he's not getting taken to any places I can't see.
That's
or
right.
I'm saying no to most everything.
Yeah.
And having to have confrontational conversations constantly. Sarah's trying to take care of the baby while I'm warding off people and stuff. So it was a bit stressful.
Yeah.
So then once we got home, it was like, okay, now I can like...
Yeah.
He is safe. We got out of there.
Yeah.
And now I can, so that was, it was different. And I don't think that it would have been like that had we had a home birth. I feel like that would have been a very different experience. My brain would have been in a totally, but as soon as he came out, I was like, who's touching him? Who's who's doing what? I'm just watching them. So your mind's kind of in a different,
well, your brain went straight into protector mode.
Well, that's true.
You know, so that's a form of it as well.
That's true.
Yeah,
but it's so cute watching him just like, now that you really know him, you know his tendencies, you know what he likes when he's crying, you know what tree to walk under, you know what, when he's crying, he probably wants to go out in the sun, then he stops crying immediately. It's like, wow, it's weird. It's like he's already a little person with preferences, and he doesn't even know what his preferences are, but you're reading them and telling him what they are.
Yeah.
Even though he's the one telling you.
I always say that to Isaac. I'm like, Isaac, blah, blah, blah. He's like, how did you know that? I'm like, Isaac, I know you better than you could possibly know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I try and come up with other stuff to say, but it's fun. It's fun getting to know him. It's fun having a different purpose in life. And for people out there who are in nice relationships, and you want to have kids, I would highly suggest it.
Highly recommended. The best thing ever.
Right. It really is. I mean, you think, oh, what's it going to be like when I have a child? Like, yeah, life changes like immediately, but like you realize, wow, this is like a really great thing. This is like what life is supposed to be.
Right. It's like, oh,
what was I doing before?
Okay. And it's like much more stressful and difficult, but in like a good hard way. Like, oh, I'm doing something important, and it's very difficult to do this thing. But it's like being forced to do. It's being forced to do hard things every day, rather than having to force yourself to like, okay, I'm gonna take on this challenge. It's like, no, if I'm gonna be a good parent, then I have to do the hard thing.
Get up every 3 hours at night.
Exactly.
Get up every 2 hours.
Not get enough
can't get any sleep. Can't
change 10,000 poopy diapers, 10,000 blowout diapers.
Yeah, but it's like, it's funny. It's like, it's just a different perspective, because then when you're doing it, it's like he's got, we have Sarah's little baby shower poster that she had, like her sign. And we never moved it like after the baby shower. We just had it in the same place. Well, it just so happens that his like little area we change him is right there. It's like sitting right next to it. And he just has this affinity for this sign.
Aww.
So if he's ever crying, I'm like, okay, let's change your diaper. And he just starts staring at the sign. He just cute. Like for just forever. I could just walk away and he would just be staring at that sign.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. So I read him the sign.
That's so cute.
It's cute.
That's awesome. And it just gets more fun. It's like this. I feel like it's like this for like the first 5 months. And then at a certain point, there's one day where you think, oh, and you realize you're kind of fun. Like you're actually interacting with me a little bit now. It's not just I know what you like and I'm keeping you alive right now, which is awesome. You know what I mean? Like that's.
But then he starts tracking you more, and I have noticed that over the past week, that if I'm like standing in a place, he'll like just kind of like look over, even if just briefly, he'll just he's over there, and that's it. He won't like stare, but he'll just like want to know where everybody is.
Wait till he starts smiling. When he smiles,
he almost has.
Yeah,
I do this thing where, and I have done it with Shiloh, but you put your fingers, and he grabs them, and you do.
Yeah,
and he like shakes them. It really, like, Shiloh think that's hilarious.
Yeah, he does.
But with Owen, I just did that just to see, and like he can't smile yet, but you can see his eyes get really wide, and he's like, like that. And he's already close, and he's like 6 weeks. He's like 7 weeks old, and he was almost smiling.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's great, and it's funny. I know, whenever people, like, I've had people before who I know well, but they always want to show you a picture of like their grandkids or something like that. And it's always like, oh, it's cute. I mean, it's
sure.
But now I feel like I was over with who was I with? Oh, Eddie.
Yeah.
And I had my phone out, and I was like, oh, I wanted to show him all these pictures, and I was like, oh, this is hilarious. Like, it's to him, it's probably like, oh, I mean, but I'm like, oh, look at this one.
I made this.
Look, he's in the grass here. This was him at the fair.
He wouldn't be here without me.
Yeah. So now I realize, like, everybody's when they do that.
And people that have kids, they know. You know what I mean? I think it's when you're showing people who don't have kids, they're like, okay, thanks. Yeah, that is a child. And it's like, no, I remember being so excited too. You know what I mean? It's exciting to share in that.
And I thought that he didn't look like us when he was first pulled out, but now I think that he really does. Yeah. I think he looks like a good mix of both of us, but I think that he looks like me a lot.
Yeah, he does. He definitely. I mean, we could see that as soon as he came out. Yeah. It's hard when it is you. To notice that because you don't stare at yourself all day.
No, and like I've had a lot of people say, oh, you look like this person or this person, and I don't stare at myself all the time, so I'm like, I don't see it at all. I mean, but I've had a lot of people say, certain YouTubers are like, oh, this is your doppelganger. I'm like, is it? I don't know.
Yeah. You're not staring at yourself in the mirror all day.
Right.
And God bless
you for that's what it is.
People said that Shiloh looked a lot like me, and I was like, I don't know. But now he's old enough. Do too. Now that he's old enough, I can see it, because at a certain point you remember pictures of yourself when you were a kid. You're like, that is what I look like when I was a kid.
You're walking down the hallway, you've seen the same picture for 16 years.
Yep. Yeah, for a while you just kind of look like a baby, and only the people that know you really, really well, that knew you when you were a baby, or have seen all the pictures, can kind of tell, or just recognize, oh, that's your forehead, that's your nose.
But the weird one is that I'm trying to figure out who does Isaac look like?
I think as Isaac and Elliot get older, they look a little bit more like Kelly.
Elliot just looks so much like Uncle Skip.
Yes, he does.
The weirdest thing.
Really is weird.
He almost doesn't look like you guys. He just looks like Uncle Skip. Like it is Uncle Skip. That's what's so strange.
Well, I thought he looked like Pop Pop. And so I asked Mom to send me a picture of Pop Pop when he was Shiloh's age. So she sent me a picture, and there was another kid in the picture, and I said, "Who's that guy?" Because that's Elliot, and I was like, "Is that Uncle Skip?" And then she sent me another picture. I said, "Yeah, he looks like Uncle Skip."
That's crazy.
It's not, it was funny. I was looking for another guy, and then realized, well, I know that's not Pop Pop, but that's Elliot. So
yeah, you're right. I think that Isaac looks more like Kelly, and then Shiloh just looks like you. Like as a baby, it's bizarre.
And then for whatever reason, Elliot looks like Uncle Skip.
And yeah, that's what I mean. That's just the most random thing. It's so weird.
That's funny.
So more updates will come as Owen becomes more interactive.
I'm sure we'll continue. It'll be peppered throughout the episodes as the days and weeks go on. But very good. I don't even know. I guess this will be good news, bad news. We're going to get caught up on everything that has happened since the last time we were here.
Oh, yeah, some predictions that came true. And
sure.
didn't.
Yeah, right. Let's see.
Somebody tweeted me and said, "Oh, your prediction came true that Biden was going to drop out."
It's like, was
Caleb,
that
I think Caleb.
Oh,
Crow.
okay. Oh, yeah. To me, that's not even a prediction. That was just a fact. That was a thing that was going to happen.
My prediction was that Michelle Obama was going to be.
We didn't get that.
We didn't get that, though.
I mean, there's still, 80 days left? 70 days?
Yeah, I mean,
it could still happen. We haven't had a debate yet.
I don't think they're going to have one.
You don't think so?
No, I actually don't.
Yeah.
I don't think that they will. I would be shocked if they did. And I think both sides don't want one.
Oh, really?
I don't think Trump wants one either.
Why?
He keeps backing out too. They keep being like, "Oh, I'll do this if let's see." What I'm saying is, Trump just needs to get on stage. I don't care the rules. I just have Kamala talk. I don't care if Waltz is there. Have them talk. That's all we want. Have them talk with no script.
It would be entertaining.
But he's like is nitpicking about the rules of the debate. I'm like, just don't nitpick. Just get on stage.
I have not super followed it, so forgive me if I have the.
Okay.
But it seemed like. It seemed like they were the Harris campaign was attempting to change the rules, and Trump is saying Trump group is saying no, we're sticking to the original plan,
right?
But you're saying who cares what the rules are? Just go, just put them in front of a camera. But maybe they're trying to change the rules so that it looks like it's the Trump people backing out.
That's what I think. Yeah. But I think that
which goes to what you're saying.
Well, I believe that Trump believes that he's so far ahead that he doesn't need to do this.
Oh, okay.
And then,
but it'll be so fun.
I know.
I just want to see.
I know. I don't care. Just make it happen. Yeah. I just want to see it. It'd be hilarious.
Come on. Yeah, he hadn't even. There had been no assassination attempt last time. That had not happened yet.
No, that hadn't happened when Owen was born. That happened like.
Yeah, it was right after.
Right after I'd gotten home.
Yeah,
because
I remember that was one of the first things I thought. I was like, oh my gosh, Owen just got here, and this is like the first news item.
Yeah. Because that was the first thing that really happened. I was like glued to my phone, and I was like, "This is weird." Like, I have this new baby, and I'm like trying to keep up with like, is he dead?
Twitter was
what's going on?
Twitter was very interesting that day.
It really was.
Yeah, I feel like everybody was glued to Twitter for about 24 hours there. That was a prediction we were right. We knew something was going to happen. We said something's going to happen between now and the election.
That's true. And now it's interesting because we're trying to figure out what their backup plan is. And it seems like their backup plan was Kamala and this weird man. I've heard somebody say he's very noodly.
Who?
Have you seen Waltz? Have you seen him? Like he's just kind of there's something about it that just feels off to me.
Yeah.
And I would say that about anybody.
Yeah.
I have no there's just something about that guy that just seems a little weird.
Something is strange. Yeah.
The Obamas endorsed Kamala.
Yeah. Well, I put that in because you were saying, well, they're going to replace him with Michelle, but now Michelle's coming out and saying, hey, vote for.
Well, I think that
Kamala.
was the plan. I think the plan was to have Michelle go in, but
it didn't.
It didn't work out because Kamala was smart and sent the email with the wrong signature.
Okay. All right. So, all right. Good news, bad news, and conspiracy theory. Basically the same segment. But is it a conspiracy? When that statement came out that Biden said,
didn't look like...
I don't think, I don't think that's a hot take.
No, it didn't have the official seal, as everybody knows. His signature was weird.
Well, okay, what's the big deal if it had the signature or not? Like,
because everything always has the signature.
I know, but why? But if who cares if they faked it? Why couldn't they have just put the signature on? Why is it like, okay, we're gonna lie and say this is Biden, but we're not gonna put the signature, the seal on it? Like, why is that a bridge too far? Like, is there some legal? Could you get?
Could be.
But I mean, if you're already putting out words for the president, I mean, I think that's what happened.
They've already. I mean,
whoever did it, whoever cooed this man out, put out this statement and said, "I'm done." And basically, they were basically saying, like, "Look, now, are you going to come out and say, hey, they put out this statement without my knowledge, because that makes you look even weaker than you look right now. So you're just done." But it didn't endorse Kamala at the beginning.
Right.
But then a few minutes later, he puts out another post, which could have been innocent. It was like, look, we want to put out the statement first, then announce. Or is it competing factions within the administration?
Right, because then the Obamas didn't come out for a long time.
Because that's the rumor that I've heard, that they don't get along.
Right. I feel like everybody thinks that.
But, yeah.
So then they endorse him, endorse her, and so I don't know. But I think maybe they wanted to get Michelle off the bench and throw her in there, but then it was too late.
So you don't think they're going to debate? So they're going to stick with Kamala until the election now?
Yeah, and they're not going to debate.
That would be so disappointing.
Well, what kind of country are we living in where like the presidential candidates don't debate?
Right.
It should be mandatory.
Right.
You should not be able to be on the ballot unless you debate.
Yeah. It's like
doesn't even make sense.
Can you just run a whole presidential election with just media sound bites?
Right, and you don't know what she's running on. You don't know anything, and they don't want you to know what she's running on. I'm assuming because they're not saying. You can't find it on the website.
Yeah, she doesn't have anything on her website either.
It's just weird. It's just this like weird idea of her. Yeah. And nobody even likes her, as far as I understand, right? But now, because the media loves her so much, now everyone loves her.
Well, I think that what they're going on is, you hate Trump, right? So here's the person, and they recognize that that's the whole appeal.
Yeah, and it could very well work.
Yeah, it could. So if they decided that that's their best option, it's like, look, do we try to convince people to love someone they're not familiar with, or do we just keep them in the space that we have them, which is just vote against the bad guy, and that's it.
The thing I thought was funny was Tucker Carlson, right after Trump was almost assassinated, he came out and he was like, you know how he always acts so matter-of-fact with everything that he says?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course that's how it is.
Yeah. So he was saying that, well, Trump already won the election, obviously. Like, objectively.
Of course.
He already won. Because, anybody who would almost be assassinated and come back and raise their fist, they win. They automatically win. Uh-huh. But then after a while, after there was this Kamala Harris hype, then I saw another clip of him and he was like, Kamala Harris could win. And I was like, what are you saying? Like, what you just said last week that it was impossible.
Yeah.
And then you just realize people just talk.
Yeah.
And the reason you listen to them is because they try to convince you that they're right. I wish I was more like that. Like, I wish I could just convince people of anything. And just
I couldn't sleep at night.
No, you couldn't. You couldn't do it. You couldn't do it.
That's most of the stuff that happened. I mean, what do you think about the assassination attempt?
Oh, I mean, Josh, what do you want?
Complete inside job.
I mean, just all I'll say, Manchurian candidate. Just watch the movie. The exact scenario. It's the craziest thing. Dad was like, Jordan, you should watch that movie. And I said, okay. I watched it. I watched the old version. And the old version, these old movies are kind of hard to watch.
Frank Sinatra.
Yeah,
Janet
apparently
Leigh.
he was in that.
Angela Lansbury's in it too.
Okay.
Anyways, go on.
I don't even know them.
That's not the important thing about it. I know.
No.
I just was surprised. I've never seen it. I was surprised by the list of people in the movie.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, it was the movie was fine, but the story was good.
Yeah.
That's kind of how old movies are. For
they
me.
just they tried to manipulate some scared kid into.
Yeah, they basically
bidding.
psychologically damage a young person. They get them in a stressful situation, and then they psychologically abuse them to then control them. And it was the parent who was controlling them, the communists. They transferred them to the mother, and then the mother was controlling him to do her bidding in the United States election during the RNC. Right before the RNC. And then he goes rogue. I won't give away the ending. But he goes rogue and he goes ape wild.
Wow. Get ready.
To get wrecked.
To get wrecked.
So anyways, yeah, it's a great movie. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
That movie. Just watch it, and that's Jordan's opinion.
I don't think that. I think that this might be the one where they realized, oh, we can't get away with assassination attempts anymore. There's too much video now.
Yeah, we
can't do this.
Let's
anymore.
just poison next time.
Yeah. Do we have any better methods? Because we can't Lee Harvey Oswald the way that we used to.
Right, but also it's weird. CNN has always said we won't. Well, now they've been saying we don't want to give Trump airtime, so we're not going to play any of his rallies. And then for some reason, this is what's weird. For some reason, then CNN and I think MSNBC are playing that one rally.
I'm not sure that that's actually true. I saw some video where somebody said that, and the other person was talking about it. And said, I don't know. I tried to look up if that really happened. I think that it might have been streaming on their website or something. But yeah, I agree. If that were true, that is super fishy. And that's why as soon as I heard that kind of tricked something in my brain. I was like, I don't know if that's...
Okay, well, my other question is, and this is just from knowing cameras.
Yeah.
Why on earth was somebody...
That one is a little bit more strange.
Taking minute photos with a camera and set to a setting... to be able to take instantaneous photos like that. He's just taking photos. You have to be holding it down while he's just looking over and that just seems odd to me.
I mean, if you're a professional photographer, you know what you're looking for here. But
a bullet is what they're looking for. That's what I'm saying.
But I heard that guy.
I know this is with the other conspiracy. He's the one who took the picture
of when Bush found out about 9/11.
And there was another picture that he took too. Look up what the other picture was that guy took. I'm curious. I think it was something with Bill Clinton, although I don't think it was.
Trump photographer assassination, Bush 9/11. Evan Vucci. Okay, all right. We got the name now. Oh, no. He didn't take the 9/11 photo. You know what photo he took? He took the picture of Bush getting the shoe getting thrown at him. That's what it was. Do you remember when that happened? He was at some press conference in another country and a guy threw a shoe at him. So it wasn't something super important. It was just a time that happened. I think he
took the picture of in the elementary school.
This doesn't say anything about 9/11. I think that was fake news.
I love fake news. But you know what was weird? Have you ever actually watched the full clip of in the elementary school during 9/11?
I don't know. Maybe
this isn't conspiracy theory, but these are we in conspiracy theory now?
I don't know.
Well, regardless, the elementary school teacher is having the kids read along with her and read these specific words, and it was the weirdest thing. She's like, "Okay, kids, follow me. Plane, hit." It is it was, and then literally right when that ends, then he goes over and says, and is told.
Is that true?
Yeah, watch the video. Yeah, you're about to be in for a rude awakening, my friend.
Yes, hit. Boys and girls,
hit.
Sound this word out. Get ready.
Steal.
What word?
Steal.
Yes, steal. Read these words the
Steal.
fast way. Get ready.
Play.
Yes, play. Get ready.
Must.
Yes, the fast way. Get ready. Read these words the fast way.
Hit, plane, steal. Must.
Get ready. Yes,
All right.
Isn't that weird?
All right.
Hit?
All right,
Building?
you're right.
Plane?
Steel? Controlled explosions.
Controlled dust? Where was... Anyways, so... I don't know where we're at, but that's it. I guess we'll move on. Was that the end
I
of
do
that?
have a conspiracy theory, too, to talk about. Now, you said something about... What, you got something you wanted to share, too? You don't want to talk about...
I don't want to talk about the
mind?
lizard people today.
Okay. Let's go to conspiracy theory real quick and talk about this, just for a minute.
With the lizard people, though, Josh. Okay, the reason you want to believe it is like, how does that even come to be? How do you even just come up with, hey, there's lizard people out there?
Yeah.
Like, that's not something that would pop into your mind. So did somebody see something one time and they're like, there's like a lizard person around here? And then that just gets spread around and people start seeing it. But, you know, I can understand conspiracies like, hey, the earth is flat, because when I look, it's flat.
Uh-huh.
But like a lizard person?
Yeah, where's this coming from?
So that's as far as I was going to get with that.
Okay,
So
all right.
that was it.
All right. Right. It's so out of left field.
It's gotta be true.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Hey, Jordan, do you buy this?
Oh, yeah, Biden's like 8 feet tall.
Yeah, do you buy this?
Yeah, he's like Abraham Lincoln. Is this a perspective thing, or
I
what?
don't know.
Because look, then all of a sudden Jill Biden is like
yeah, if she
7
comes
feet behind him.
well, she's standing behind him. Yeah, this is a forced perspective situation right here.
That's what I thought.
But here was the one I thought was weird. Look at him walking. Now, I know people were like, oh, let's fact check. That's not actually Jill. That's his sister.
Biden?
Yeah, that's supposed to be Biden.
Okay,
look at how he's walking.
He does look giant.
I know, but it's not even just how tall he is, because that's his sister, not Jill. But the way he's walking there seems odd.
Like, it looks like a man trying to walk like Biden.
Yeah, something about it seemed weird. And admittedly,
that looks weird right there.
When I first saw these videos, I think I had seen a lot of videos of Biden walking lately. So when I saw this one, I thought, man, that is not how he walks. But now Biden is gone now.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's been gone for years. So now I see that and I'm like, yeah, I guess that's what he walked like. So I don't know if I really buy this, but here's what was weird, Jordan. Here's what was weird. No, there wasn't another one, but here, check this out. This is what the CIA is up to, dude.
Here's the grand finale of my talk. As chief of disguise, I got to be there.
This woman was the chief of disguise for the CIA.
The process for making full face masks, not just masks that looked good, but that worked. They actually animated. You could have a conversation.
They actually had a woman step into the president's office and do a briefing.
In one of these masks.
And it worked.
Therein is
she didn't recognize that it was.
He didn't recognize
a human being's ability to rationalize. No one in that Oval Office.
If you walked into this, if someone walked in this room with your face on, it would take me a minute to think about it if I wasn't expecting it. Because my brain would just be like, yeah, it's my brother.
Well, especially if it was somebody that you didn't know their mannerisms and you were just meeting them for the first time, but you had seen a picture of them, like, hey, we hired this person, here they come.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if it was like, if somebody walked in, it would be hard to tell, but your mannerisms, you'd be able to know immediately.
Yeah, like imagine if I'm sitting here working on something and you just walk in and like kind of like, hey, I'm going to go up to the bathroom. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, then you wouldn't know.
Anyways,
that's freaky.
I don't know if I buy it, but it is funny how Biden is just like is someone in charge around here anymore? Is it like who's running the country? It's like further proof that it's just whoever is behind the scenes.
I know,
just
it's like they're not even trying to hide that. Yeah, that's what's so weird. That's either what makes it seem like they're just doing their last desperate throws, or that they don't give a bleep that anybody knows.
Yeah,
that,
it's
that
like all pretense is over. Yeah. It is very interesting. These are interesting times to live through. So, just get your emergency food kits. They sell them at Costco now.
I did see that.
Okay, they've gone mainstream. All right, you don't have to feel weird buying those anymore. You can buy them at Costco.
Or just go through Glenn Beck. I'm sure he's still selling.
Yeah. Glenn Beck will sell you some, and it's probably some gold too. All right. I think
if they want to sponsor, we take it.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Hey, if someone wants to give me some gold, I'll take the gold. I'll take the food. All right. You want to and gave me hope?
I do want it. Gave me hope.
Do you have any gave me hope too, or
yeah? It's
you do?
My son.
Okay. So your son gives you hope? Now you can
Yes.
finally now you can do what I do, which is just
Not care about the election because you'd like.
like
got
what do I
bigger-
care about the future anymore?
Yeah.
No, what it is. I mean, this is always the thing. Jordan is always so worried about this stuff, and I said, Jordan, I'm telling you, when you have a kid, somehow it's like it's more important and it's less important at the same time.
It's true.
It's like this is what it is. It's you have physical proof in front of you that God is taking care of things. You know? And it's like, all right, is this child just here so that the crazies in Washington can just burn it all to the ground and that's it, the end? Or is life a little bit more important?
I don't know. I mean, that's happened before, you know. Vikings come and just pillage everybody and
Right.
steal them, and it's
Right,
like,
but people
wow, I
didn't
had
care.
a whole life.
People didn't care if people died back then. People had like 20 kids because half of them died. You know,
Yeah.
there was no attachment.
Yeah, none. Surely.
You didn't even see your kid. You just went to war immediately. Like you got your wife pregnant. You went to war.
You went to war, you died, and then
You never met your kids.
You never met your kid.
How many
anyways.
kids have died since I was back from war? You've had 3 kids and they all died. Well, wait.
Wait, I wasn't
Hang
here.
on,
How that
hang
happened?
on.
Then the Vikings come.
No, it's the Vikings came to the
Came
village.
to the village already because you were fighting
no.
them. You made it out. Then
no.
It was just a different time back then. You know?
Yeah.
It's not like I mean, you know, people do go to war. Josh,
You
and come
have
back.
the luxury of love that perhaps
luxury
the
of
luxury
love.
of love and tender care that people in the Vikings days didn't have.
Man, things were probably better in the Vikings days than they are now.
I don't know about all that.
I don't know. See, I feel like it's a conspiracy that people make us think that like things were like that things are the worst they've that things are better than they are now. So it's like look, you have a microwave. They didn't have that. The Vikings were killing everybody. They were stealing their wives constantly.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, did it happen all the time? Or did that happen like once every 100 years and they just happen to be the one? It was like, you know, you get in a car accident. Okay, there's a lot of
things
car
were
accidents.
terrible then.
Well, there's a lot of car accidents
Yeah.
that happen in the United States every year. It's a shocking statistic, to
Right.
be honest. But when you go out, you feel totally safe.
Right. I
When
don't
you're-
feel safe in the
No,
car.
you
Every time
don't,
I get
Josh.
in the car, I'm like, well,
Yeah, and then
Here
you're
we go
getting in
again.
this stick shift that you've never driven before. And
yeah,
you're like,
you-
I'm going to die.
you got a stick shift. Did that give you hope?
Buying that truck gave me hope. I don't think it gave me hope that I can shoddily drive a stick shift. And
Yeah.
anyways, I don't even know where are we at?
It gave me hope. Yeah. Well, what I was going to say is that
Okay.
now you can just start doing what I do with It Gave Me Hope, which is just, all right, what's something my kids did this week?
Yeah, it's an easy thing.
It's an easy
you know?
thing.
So just standard, I'll just say Owen is born.
Owen is here.
So that's my it gave me hope.
There you go. He's doing great. You know, the other day I got a text from Amy. Mom had taken the boys over to her house.
Yeah.
And Amy texted Kelly and I and said that she was sweeping, and Isaac just walked up to her out of nowhere and just said, "Aunt Amy, thank you so much. That's really nice of you to sweep." And Kelly and I laughed, and I thought about it, and I was like, you know, every time that Kelly is sweeping the living room, I always make sure to say, "Thank you so much for doing that. Mama, you're doing a great job." And I realized, like, all the things I worry about,
Yeah.
like, oh no, am I explaining life right to Isaac? Is everything, it's just
Yeah.
these 1,000 things that he picks up that I do that I don't even think about. You know what I mean? That's what he does. And so then I was like, okay, well, I try to be a grateful, kind person. So, you know, maybe I didn't explain some concept to him the right way.
You need to say thanks, Mom, for
Yeah.
sweeping.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Which, you know, we say like, hey, you know, it's nice to say thank you to people, but I think
Yeah.
he just is emulating what he sees me do. So that was encouraging to me.
That's funny.
To think, okay, I guess I can't be messing up too much because I thank Kelly for everything she does, you know. So hopefully my kids will grow up to be like grateful people.
That's funny.
And that was it. That was really the whole thing. I just
Well, that makes sense, Josh. I was just confused because you wrote the boys are always watching.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, they're watching what?
Oh yeah,
TV.
No,
what show?
they're watching me. They're
You're
watching.
the TV
yeah,
show.
well, it probably when I wrote that note, I probably meant to be a little bit more foreboding. Like, oh, I need to be a little careful because it's not what I'm telling them;
Oh,
it's
I
what
see.
they're
Yeah,
seeing
that's
me
right.
do.
That's right.
You know.
That's right.
Here's what scares me. Let me tell you what scares me. What scares me is when Elliot talks about using his phone. He'll be like, let me check on my phone. Siri, how many days have I been alive? Thank you, Siri. Because sometimes they ask how long they've been alive, so I'll be like, I don't know. Let's see. Hey,
How many
Isaac,
days
how many
ago
days
was-
has it been since such day? And then, anyways, but they'll just pretend they have their phone and they'll talk to Siri on their phone, and they hold their phone. This is their phone. They do this. They don't do this when, like, if they pretend to be talking on the phone, it's this. It's that
Oh,
exact
that's-
viral TikTok joke. Like, that's this real. This is what they do. This makes no sense to them. When you do this, they don't know what you're talking
that's
about.
weird.
This is a phone.
That's weird. I didn't know that was a viral trend.
Yeah, there was
That's
some.
what all kids do
well,
now?
there was a trend of like parents saying, "Hey, how would you act out talking on the phone? I would do this," and it just
Oh,
your brain as a millennial immediately thinks that's weird. Oh yeah, I guess that is what to you. Yeah, I guess for the majority of our lives, this has
jeez.
been a phone now. Not this,
Oh, jeez.
but this is just what we remember from kids, from being kids.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
That is weird. That's very weird. That was in It Gave Me Fear.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to watching you guys do or not do at all for any reason smartphones with Owen.
Oh, we'll give it to him.
He's got one right now.
He's got it at home.
You know,
He's using
each
it.
one of our kids has watched less TV than the last one.
Yeah.
Shiloh watches like no TV.
Nothing.
Isaac watched like, this is what's so funny. It's like, what were we doing with just one kid? What was
Yeah.
going on? And now we've got 3 kids that were like somehow getting away with like not watching TV at all. Back when Isaac was like, I don't know how we could get away with not watching TV. Like, there's so many things to do. It's like, what? What? Who are you talking to? But I think it really is true. Well, I think part of it too is that with each child that you have, you get a little less freaked out about having kids.
Yeah.
So like, Shiloh was like, falling over, choking on things, and I'm just like,
I'm okay.
is he good? Which actually is only kind of true because Shiloh puts like everything in his mouth.
Does he?
Yeah. So I mean, like 4 times a day. Shiloh, wait, hang on. You look like you have something. Do you have something in your mouth?
Like a little dog who's like
All
carrying
day.
around something.
I was like, I don't remember Isaac and Elliot being like this. And Kelly's like, well, Isaac and Elliot didn't have Isaac and Elliot throwing things on the ground
that's
all day.
true.
I was like, that's a good
That's
point.
Fix it up.
That's a good point. Oh man. Anything else you want to talk about? And it gave me hope.
No,
All right, you got anything to recommend this week?
I can come up with something.
All right, cool. I've got something to recommend. While we took a little bit of a break, I finally found another email send out service.
MailChimp?
Not MailChimp. They started charging. And my email list was like just big enough that I couldn't do whatever
that's
anymore.
annoying.
So I finally found another email service. So I started my newsletter back up. Because
fun.
I don't have social media really anymore. So the whole point at the beginning was, hey, I'll build up an email list. And then I did it for a while and then kind of stopped because I started getting charged.
Well,
by
which is
mail.
in the link of our descriptions too.
It is, yeah. And I always felt bad because I never actually sent out newsletters, but I'm sending out newsletters
fun,
again.
fun,
Yeah,
fun.
and I'm getting ready to launch a new website and project. So I thought, well, it'd be
Correlates
good to
well.
keep that going. So, anyways, if you want to go sign up for that, it's joshtaylor.fyi. That was the cheapest Josh Taylor dot that I could get. FYI.
It works.
FYI. You want to know about me? Go to my
I
website.
mean, that makes sense.
JoshTaylor.fyi. You can sign up and find links and stuff on there. Go sign up for my newsletter. I literally just like do little like blog posts. And if you reply, I always try to respond.
So people can just like email back and then
It's fun. It's like just enough people that I can keep up with it.
that's good.
It's nice. It's not overwhelming. And it makes for a little bit of a fun 45 minutes or hour in the morning when I send out a newsletter. I get lots of emails back. Dude, the number of people that open up my emails is crazy. Like I've looked at what the normal rates are and mine are like, it's over 50% of people that are signed up for my email list. So I always appreciate that.
I didn't realize that people could email back. I guess that's just idiotic of me.
Well, yeah, you just say, hey, this email is coming from this email address. And you have to like confirm that that's your email address. And so then when it goes out, it's coming from your email address.
Okay.
That's how it works. That's how it works. Anything you want to recommend this week?
Sure. I'm doing a weekly series on Jordan Taylor videos.
There we go.
Of me doing the downstairs, refinishing my downstairs basement and trying to do it in 45 days. I have like 35 days left, and I put out a video every Friday, and it just tracks my progress. This week, I need to buy more drywall, and so I bought a truck, very good deal, 1972 Ford F-250.
You got an old antique
390
truck.
engine. So this is like actually a pretty desirable truck if it's fixed up. But it's stick shift, so I don't know how to drive it. So I need to go to Home Depot and buy drywall, more drywall. So part of the story this week is me learning to drive stick shift.
Oh, so that's going to be in the video?
Yeah.
Oh, how fun. Very good. Are you trying to put out one a week? Is that the idea?
Yeah, every Friday.
Oh, okay. Very good.
So like the old days on my channel, I used to post religiously every Friday, even if it was like at 11:59 p.m.
Okay.
I would put out a video.
Okay. Very good.
I haven't done that in years. So anyways, it's fun. I've had a lot of great comments, people enjoying that series.
Good.
So if that's something that's interesting to you, I think even if you're not a big DIY kind of like channel watcher, this is just kind of a fun story of a husband trying to do something nice for his wife in 45 days because he's been putting it off.
I think you finally figured out how to do the kind of thing you want to do on your channel.
Like the projects,
Yeah.
but kind of make it about like the family story
Yes.
of doing it in like a trilogy, a series.
Excellent. Good.
So if this does well, which I mean, I'm not getting a huge amount of views.
If you see some retention.
If I notice some different trends. So this time it was like this video is not getting as many views as your other videos, but then it slowly started to creep up to like just be where it's kind of at the same level as my other videos, even though it's still not like a huge video or anything. But that's like unusual to see.
Yes.
So I'm wondering
Yeah.
if that is if it's actually getting shared with people. Honestly, I think I got one comment from somebody who was like, I wasn't going to watch this, but I watched it, and this was like way more fun and better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So,
It's
that's
interesting,
another person in the bag who wants to
genuine,
go.
authentic content on YouTube, not corporate. we want an island for $1.
Yeah. I have 45 days and we're going to see it. I do say that, Josh, but like in a more calm way. So I have learned something from the Beast.
There you go.
Well, I got 45.
All
My
right.
name's Nikolai Carpathia, and I have 45 days.
Mr. Mark of the Beast here.
Anyway, so if that sounds interesting to you, check it out. I think you'll like it. It's fun. We got some 80s music going on in the background. I keep getting copyright strikes.
Did those get cleared up
one,
yet?
No, not the first one. The second one got resolved. in
Okay,
like
the other
5
one will
minutes.
just drop off.
That's what
it
I
just
think,
depends. Yeah. It's a little
It's
bit
just annoying. I can't.
We
whatever.
switched it. We had a
Yeah, for some reason, why did Storyblocks just like? ban us?
Well, for a long time. So there are different music libraries that we have subscribed to over the years.
I am a huge fan of Storyblocks.
Storyblocks. We forever
Ever.
have been on. It always says legacy plan. So at some point years ago, they changed up what the cost was, but they were afraid to raise the price for the people who had been on for a long time. So I knew this day was coming. Then it canceled, and I was like, oh, I don't remember. Yeah, somehow maybe I had clicked, don't auto renew or something. And so then I went back to look and see like, well, what does it cost to resubscribe? I'm curious now. And they had changed it to where like you only get a certain number of downloads a month or
And
something
it was
like that.
Free. It was like nothing.
Yeah, it was something dumb.
And it was like for hundreds of dollars.
It was going to be expensive. But we have another service that we've subscribed to for the last couple of years called Envato. And I really like Envato. This was kind of always the tough thing. I liked Envato, but Jordan still really liked Storyblocks. So I didn't use Storyblocks very much. I've been using Envato for a while. Jordan is now having to learn Envato. And Envato is a little bit of a different system because instead of like telling Storyblocks what your YouTube URL is, and then they resolve any sort of copyright for
stuff,
you.
yeah.
You actually have to go in and like copy a license and like dispute it and copy the license in and click that thing that says, if you're lying, your channel could be deleted every time there's an issue.
Every single time.
And so
that's just a nerve-wracking thing
Yeah,
if you
every
ever
time.
got to do that.
But like I told you, like if you used a video from a music library and your channel got destroyed, that music library would be in for a world of hurt.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm starting to really like Envato. You know,
I like that
there's just something about the search on audio blocks that was just so good.
Yeah,
I could
and
find anything.
I don't like that Envato like has that audio jungle on like audio that plays when you're previewing any clip. It's so annoying.
It really is annoying.
But
so you can't record it, I guess.
But the videos, and they've got like lots of like all of the intros for the podcast and stuff.
Yeah.
That's all from Envato.
Right, so it's like a better
There's a
bang
lot
for your
of
buck.
stuff.
Storio
Yeah.
blocks really. There's audio blocks and story blocks. It's the same company though, but audio blocks was really good with the music, and not so great with like the video
content.
functionality.
Yeah.
Whereas Envato is like pretty good on the music and like ridiculously good on the video.
Yeah,
situation.
and like motion graphics and all kinds of
incredible.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
And it was cheaper than audio blocks too.
Right. So, which is crazy. I think Storyblocks just has the name reputability or something
Yeah.
because they've been around for so long.
And
they
do have a. Oh, do they?
They sponsor some YouTube channels. Yeah,
They do have a great music library.
they really do, and it's very easy to resolve anything.
Yes,
like very. I've only had one
pros
time.
and cons.
Yeah, I've had one time where it didn't resolve.
Yeah.
But other than that, so anyways, I guess that's the end of the episode.
First episode back. All right. Every Friday. Okay, we're back now. Sorry, people missed us.
It was a bit longer because Owen had the tongue tie thing, and like we had to do these stretches. He's like crying constantly. We have to do this like every 4 hours, then it's every 6 hours, and it's for like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night.
When we were first talking about it maybe it was the last podcast episode, I don't remember where it was, and you were like, I'm thinking we'll just take like a week off. And I was like, I mean, yeah, sure, maybe in like some ideal world, perhaps, maybe, but also I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, and I do think that if I'm really curious what it's like when you don't have a wife who just had major surgery, right?
Yeah.
How
It's still a pretty. I mean, there's all. If it wasn't that, it was going to be something else. There's always some. It's not going to go perfectly. There's going to be some issue.
Yeah.
But it's all right. That's the fun of it. That's the part of learning.
Yeah, but now that he's healthy and he's safe, and it's just great. You just hang out.
It's just
watch him.
You're never bored for your whole
That's
life.
exactly right. I never just walk around aimlessly and just think, what do I do?
Nope.
I mean,
I still have a child.
Right. Like, all right, great. I get this. And it's weird. Like it's weird to like. If I don't see him because I'm downstairs working in the basement for like 6 hours.
Yeah.
And then I come upstairs and he's like taking a nap. He's asleep. It's like 7 p.m. He's asleep. I'm like, dang. He's gonna wake up at like 10.
I want to see him. I want to play with him. Let me play with him.
Yeah. So then it's like, wow, I really miss this guy like more than anybody, and I've like.
Yep.
Got these pictures I look at. So I found myself, I went to go charge my phone in the office because I don't charge it in my room. I was charging it in the office, and then, his picture pops up. And when I charged it, and he was asleep, and I didn't get to see him because I was downstairs for so long, and I just found myself just looking at his picture. And then I opened up my phone, and I was just like looking through all my pictures of him. It's like this, and I go to sleep, and I could just hear him like... like
on the monitor or whatever.
No, just when I went.
Oh, right, because he's still in the room. Yeah.
When I went in the room, he was in the bassinet or whatever. And
That's so sweet.
I hear him. I was like, "This is cute."
I still do that some nights. I just get into bed if Kelly's already asleep, and I'll just pull out my phone. I'll just look at all the pictures of the kids, even though they're just like they're older now and sleeping in the other rooms. But that doesn't really stop. They're just always super cool, no matter how big they get. They get even cooler, if you can even believe it, every day. A little more cool, a little more fun.
A little more cool, a little more fun.
A little more cool,
and
a
they
little
get
more fun.
cooler than you because they're the next generation. So they're like the cool ones. And it's like, wow, this is cool. Like, I'm not cool anymore. I don't even want to be cool, to be honest with you. I just want to have a child who's nice. and who
That's the
people
dream.
people who look up to that child.
Yes, that is exactly right.
I couldn't care less about anything anymore.
When your kid goes and plays with other kids and is nice to them, and you can tell that
They're being responded well to.
yes, that feels like passing
Oh yeah.
the test of all tests. That's
I
a
can
good
imagine.
feeling. That's a good feeling.
And that's it. Get Josh's newsletter. Check out my series on YouTube. We'll talk to you guys next week.